Hello, welcome back. This is the 90 Day Fiance Season 8, Episode 5 review. Obviously, spoilers. If you've not had a chance to watch the episode that premiered yesterday, don't watch if you don't want to be spoiled. Uh, as always, hope you guys are having a good day, and thank you again for subscribing to the channel. Let's get this thing started. Alright, so we're going to start off with the couples that didn't really get a lot of screen time. So Rebecca and Zed, whatever, um, in the last episode, he was about to board a plane to head over to the United States because his visa got approved. And so in this episode, he was actually, about to get on the plane. He said goodbye to his family, who aren't being very supportive of their relationship. He's Islamic, and so they view marriage, since Rebecca was married before, they view that stuff very sacredly. And I don't know, do other cultures not realize that sometimes things just happen and marriages just don't work out? I don't know. Anyway, so Rebecca had to find an apartment, and she found one in a building that she used to live in with her ex from Morocco, which she was talking about, how upset Ziad was going to be. And while I'm all for honesty in a relationship, if your soon-to-be husband is so insecure in the fact that anything related to your ex is just a massive, like, bomb setting, it's just don't even bother telling him. I ain't got time for that. There's no reason for anyone to be that insecure. But anyway, so then we have Tariq and Hazel. So it's Hazel's first day in America, and so Tariq took her out for an American breakfast, which we all know is, French toast, eggs, grits, hash browns, waffles, sausage, bacon, country ham, Waffle House, IHOP, any places that you actually, eat breakfast. And of course in the Philippines, they do a lot more healthy, proportioned rice, other stuff, but that's not like that here. So Hazel thought that syrup on French toast was too sweet. You cannot eat French toast any other way except with syrup. So she made a comment that she's gonna get fat and chubby, which some Americans aren't. I'm in the process of losing weight, baby weight that just never went away and it's just been there. So it's possible to be healthy. Yes, it is expensive to be healthy in America, but it is possible. So a little syrup on your French toast ain't gonna kill nobody. But of course, Tariq also had to show Hazel a spiritual center that he had been going to for 17 years. She is very religious. She goes to church and he is not. So the spiritual center is for all religious groups, people who, worship differently, believe differently, but they all meet there to kind of, I guess, center themselves or whatever. And he asked if she wanted to get married there, and she's basically said on church. But you can compromise. Really, the spiritual center looked nice, but whatever. I'm not them. I'm not picky. If I ever get married, I want to get married on the beach. But, whatever. So, and of course, in the next episode, Tariq has his daughter back, Ari, who has high-functioning autism. And she is going to meet Hazel for the first time. And so we're going to see how that goes. And apparently she finds something on his phone, maybe related to his their little communication with, Minty. We're going to find out. All right, so now let's get into the lovely drama of the season. We have, my bad, before. We have Ryan and Stephanie. Real quick on them. Apparently she's been paying his wages because he is not working in Belize right now. I kind of feel like Stephanie is kind of setting herself up to be kind of screwed over. I'm not one for people bumming off of me. I will help people. I have helped people when I did not have a lot to give myself. And those people took advantage of my kindness and my willing to give and give, and eventually I had to cut them off. I if you are not working and you are able to work and you're bumming off of somebody just because something is not happening right now, you need to find some other way to work. I mean, anything above anything. I'm not talking about stay-at-home moms or people who have, stuff going on. I'm a stay-at-home mom with our two kids, but I'm talking about those people who just kind of bum off of you, and that's it. They just keep taking and taking and taking, and that's it. I'm not really a fan of that. Um, so of course, I think in the next episode, I'm thinking that Stephanie is about done with Ryan. I'm sure before the episode is over, he'll call her and tell her that he didn't have his phone on or something of the nature to basically say I'm sorry, and they'll get back together and whatever. And of course, Stephanie still has to tell Ryan about that she slept with his cousin, so that's going to be interesting. All right, so now, Jovi and Yara. So in this episode, it's Jovi's basically last day. He has to go to work tomorrow. He works 4 weeks on, 4 weeks off. He said he works at like the oil stations or something like that. So he's gone for a month and he stays for a month. And Yara is a little apprehensive about him going. Apparently, obviously in the first episode, we find out that she was pregnant when they were traveling and she had a miscarriage. And he apparently left her in Albany to go back to work. She had lost her passport. Apparently she had to have an operation since she lost the baby, which he said he didn't know about, which there's not really much that he could have done. I mean, he didn't know. So, but apparently she was really upset about it. And she kind of cried, got it off her chest. So I'm hoping that something happens with them. I mean, I thought they were trying to be in a good place, but I kind of feel like he might have done something stupid too. After he's gone, his friend, her and Yara go out for spas in the next episode, and you get, Manny's petties, and apparently something about strippers comes up. So we're gonna see about that. I have a feeling that he did something stupid, and that might be a deal breaker with them. I don't really know though, because honestly, anything can happen at this point. And of course, we're not gonna hear anything about Amira and whatever that dude's name is. I don't know why I can't remember. Because apparently she still got detained, so we'll find out anything about that in the next episode too. Alright, so now we're going to move on to Brandon and Julia. Alright, so Julia woke up at noon in this episode to take care of the animals, and she was supposed to be up at 7. And of course, their family friend is there, and she did not know that she was supposed to be up. And of course, the friend is all, you need to be up earlier. Now I will say this, she's not being paid to watch these animals all day, nor did they ask her if that's what she wanted to do. They took her there, showed her what to do, and basically said, this is what you're doing, and that's that. And I'm sorry, there's no such thing as free labor. There shouldn't be. So they should be paying her if they're wanting her to be up at 7 o'clock to feed these animals and be with them all day, considering how everyone else works. So she was upset. And then, of course, Brandon, he left at 4:30 that morning. He got back, didn't hug or kiss her, which I could totally understand being upset about. You ain't seen me all day. Come hug, kiss me, and then you can go sit down. But apparently they had to get ready for dinner because his grandfather wanted to meet Julia, where they drop a nice little bombshell that they want to get married on May 9th, which this year is Mother's Day. And Brandon's parents were not flying with that. They basically said no and to pick a different date, and that was Mother's Day weekend, and that they were not sharing that day with them. And I was honestly a little bit mad because holidays didn't really mean anything to me, especially when I was with my ex. They were pretty much a touch and go basis. I never had good birthdays. I always spent the day crying. And then, when I became a mom, it just I kind of realized that while my kids are still young, I still give my mom a Mother's Day card. I still call my granny to wish her Happy Mother's Day. And I tell everyone on Facebook Happy Mother's Day, and all the singles dads, all the mom working, all that stuff. I never really realized that it was an okay deal. But as you get older, you know, it really is just a day that you're like, hey, I appreciate what you do, and you're totally awesome, and I love you, and you take them out to dinner or whatever. But if they want to get married on May 9th because it means something special to them, it should not be a big deal. Especially since I don't when does Mother's Day come? Probably like on May 8th next year, May 10th or whatever. It's never on the same day. So, I think that if they want to get married on May 9th, that's what they're going to do. It's their wedding, not anyone else's. It is just a damn holiday. You can share it. It's not going to hurt nobody. It really isn't. His parents drive me up the wall. They're like all the way up here, up the wall, with the way that they just basically tell them no, and that what they're doing is wrong, and what they're deciding is wrong. Like, he's not 27, like, he's not an adult and can make a decision for himself. Um, as far as no, I don't think I'm forgetting any couple besides Mac and Natalie. Okay, so let's get this on the road with Mike and Natalie. So, as we know, in season 7, Mike and Natalie are two totally different people. She's religious, he is not. She's a vegetarian, he is not. He has no plans to move, which is still questionable, especially since you find out that he drives 3 hours to work in Seattle. 3 hours. And then 3 hours back. That is 6 hours spent on the road just going to and from. I ain't got time for that. They better be paying him mileage. I am not playing. Um, so at that point, I would move a little outside of Seattle. I'm not saying in Seattle, because I know that places are expensive. Like, you just can't go to Atlanta and rent somewhere because they're expensive. Like, New York is expensive. But outside the city limits, find somewhere else. That way you aren't driving 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours at night. I know. No. So, all right. So, Natalie has been a housewife, basically. And she's upset. And not to mention, she almost washed her clothes with bleach. Do they not have bleach in Russia? I legit thought she was about to ruin all of her clothes. Bleach, bleach is not for colors unless it says 4 colors on the bottle. Okay, so I was a little nervous there for a minute. But she basically is there all day by herself, and they haven't really had time to discuss their issues, the issues that they just keep having anyways. And so on the weekend, Michael was like, let's go to, he said, Snoqualmie or something like that, falls. It was beautiful, beautiful waterfalls, a beautiful place. But before we get there, I want to make a comment about the fireworks scene. So he has a pond of fish that he feeds, and he was shooting off fireworks, and she said that fish can die from sound and the fireworks were not fun. You're a buzzkill, Natalie. Buzzkill. That's what you are. You must be so much fun. Fireworks are fine. They literally shoot them off every day here. It just feels like 4th of July, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, Christmas. Pick one. People will just shoot off fireworks. So I'm sorry that she felt they weren't fun. Maybe you should stay in Russia. So after that, and after they finally get to the waterfall, they're spending some time out there. And before they get there, they get this beautiful hotel. It is so nice. And he orders a glass of red wine and a tomahawk steak, which is a big steak. It was a big steak. She got the scallops. I don't know if anyone knows this, but red wine is actually healthy for you when you're pregnant. Not like a whole bottle in like a day, but like, like half a glass or something. It actually, I don't like wine, but I know that it is good for you, and a glass of red wine isn't going to kill you either. So she is very particular about what she puts in her body. It is very healthy, no alcohol sometimes, and whatever on that. But my thing is the way she looks at Mike every time that he drinks. He's not an alcoholic, obviously. He doesn't down 5 beers in one sitting. He has a beer and that's it, or a glass of wine and that's it. So it's not like he's a raging alcoholic who stumbles over bar chairs or whatever. So of course there was that. And then after the waterfalls and after, they kind of joking around, and they head back to this brewery, which of course she's all upset about too, because it's another bar place. And so he ends up getting a beer. And then they're talking about him going 1 week with me, 1 week without. And, that's just going to have to be how it is, that he needs to compromise to her and respect her. Does Natalie not know that you can be different people and still be fine? Vegetarians, meat eaters, non-religious, religious. I mean, it happens every day that people who are complete opposites make it work. So it really irritates me that Natalie just sits there and judges everybody and judges him on eating meat. I don't like steak. I don't like steak. Everyone in my family loves it. I just don't like it. And that's fine. I'm not judging anybody. I'm not a vegetarian either. I like chicken. I'll eat ground meat and pork and not fish. I don't like seafood. But besides the point, I'm not over here judging anybody because of what they eat. Like literally, I love raw onions. I can eat them like an apple. My boyfriend does not. He prefers them almost burnt. Differences are still fine. I don't hate him any less, and he doesn't hate me any less. So I really want Natalie to get the hell over whatever her problem is about him eating meat. So then she asked for the ring back, and then their wedding date. He says that he doesn't know. And of course, she's bringing up this fact to the producer about something that Mike did in the past. And I don't know if she's referring to the season 7 thing. If none of you watched season 7, she said that her and Mike were having issues, fighting or whatever. And he went out with a couple of friends. He ended up drinking a little bit too much and didn't want to drive home. So he ended up staying at a girlfriend's house. And he fell asleep on the couch. And Natalie apparently thinks that he slept with the woman, even though he is sworn up and down that he has never done anything like that to her. She is literally, I don't know if this is what she's referring to, but she's literally said ever since she cannot trust him. I don't know if anything else happened after that, but from what I have caught, it's fine. But so they're just in this state of she can't trust him. And until that trust is 100%, there is no wedding. But like I always say, no trust equals no relationship. So don't even waste the time. So, of course, before the episode actually ends, he ends up getting a root beer float. Now, a root beer float is basically, it's root beer with vanilla ice cream. It's literally like vanilla, sugary, whatever. I don't like root beer. I love ice cream. I don't like root beer. And she basically flipped out saying that it was alcohol because it said beer. Root beer is not beer. It is gross. I don't know how people like it, but it's not beer. And all episode, Natalie gets on my nerves. All 4 episodes that she has been in the picture with Mike, I have literally wanted to slap her across the face and tell her that she needs to focus and get over whatever her issue is. Okay, well, as far as I don't think I missed anything. So I'll obviously look out for my next video for episode 6. I am excited to see what's going on. And I can't wait really for the Rebecca and Zied stuff to start, because I would like to know what the hell's going on. So, but I guess until then, you guys have a good week, and I'll talk to y'all later.